Hey, this is Anney.
And Samantha.
And welcome to Stuff I Never Told You, a production of iHeartRadio. And welcome to another edition of Happy Hour. As always, nothing we talk about in here is sponsored currently, but also drink responsibly or whatever you're doing. Do it responsibly. Samantha, are you sipping on anything?
Water.
Water.
I'm sticking with the water today because it's a little warm and all the things.
Yes. Well,
what about you?
Water is amazing. I am mixing it up today, and it's actually relevant to what I'm going to talk about. I have a white wine.
Ooh.
Of which I cannot tell you. It's Chardonnay.
Oh.
That's as far as I got you.
Okay.
I don't normally drink white wine. I don't really have a problem with it. It's just not my preference. But I recently attended a wedding.
Right.
And at the end of the night, I left with wine.
You keep leaving things with alcoholic beverages. I feel like they just hand them all to you, huh?
They gave it to me. They gave me one bottle of red and one bottle of white.
Nice.
So I thought I would enjoy this because I am going to be talking about that experience in a second. But Samantha and I have just been chatting. I feel like my life is in complete disarray right now. I've just got a lot of things going on. My car didn't start this morning, Samantha.
Uh-oh.
We knew it was coming.
Huh?
We knew it was coming.
Yeah.
But I need it for this weekend, so hopefully I can fix it. I think it's just the battery, but didn't start. I still got my toilet issues. I had like a health situation the other day.
What?
Yeah, it's just been a mess. And it reminds me of all those headlines that you read that make me roll my eyes, where they're like, how your apartment, wherever you live is a reflection of your state of mind. I'm like, oh no, my state of mind is not good right now. I don't have any particular worse drama than normal.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just reached this point.
Right. I don't know. I think everybody might be feeling it. Not sure if it's with all of the lunar things or the magnet things. I don't know. But yeah, I feel like things are piling up that's not too cute.
Mm-hmm.
I remember with the Lunar New Year stuff, they were talking about the fact that the signs are not that great. Year of the Dragon is beneficial for some, but not for all. And my sign is a monkey, and apparently it's not supposed to be a good year. And I don't like the fact that it's falling into that. Not that it's a bad year, but it's not the most balanced. We'll keep it that way, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you happen to see any of the Northern Lights?
No.
I'm so bummed I missed it.
I'm not gonna lie. For some reason, I just did not care.
Oh, I would have died.
Apparently, you could only see it through the phone, though.
Mm-hmm. I had a friend of a friend who she said she couldn't see it, but she took a picture through the phone, and it was really pretty. Well, yeah. So we're both feeling a little bit out of sorts, I would say. But I did have a bright spot I wanted to talk about, and this is that old producer of the show, friend of ours, Dylan, got married.
Yeah.
Yes, and it was beautiful. It had all of these events around it. There was bowling, and I went with my good friend Katie, who's been on the show, and I was surprised, given how many times you and I have complained about, not even complained, but been like, wow, I was so upset after this event. It was lovely.
Aww.
I saw people I didn't know were going to be there and legitimately just felt so happy to see them. Like, it was such a wonderful surprise. Also, I'm terrible at bowling, and I believe I got a 14. Horrendous. Wow. In my defense, I was sharing it with my friend Katie. We were taking every other turn, but still, even so, I should have done better because my arm wouldn't be as tired. Yeah, but it was like a really beautiful thing. And then the next day, there was a dinner at a local restaurant, and there were even more people I wasn't expecting to be there, and it was so lovely. And of course, I was talking about all these horror movies, like hot sauces and ridiculous things. But instead of feeling bad about that, like I normally do at parties these days, I was just happy I got to hang out with folks.
Yeah.
And Dylan and his wife were such a beautiful couple. They were so great. They were so gracious. And it was like one of the weddings where they had the speeches and I was crying. Everybody was crying. Um, and it was a delicious meal, all of that. And then there was karaoke, which was great. Me and my friend Katie sang Rob Zombie, which she says she got cleared with Dylan because I told her specifically, this is their wedding. We are not going to be weird with their song choices. And she picked a Rob Zombie song. And definitely all of the older people in the karaoke space left after we sang.
Game
We
show.
nailed it. We nailed it.
Nice.
And that's where I got the wine. But I guess what I wanted to talk about ultimately is it was such a beautiful experience. It was so lovely. But this was my first time being at a wedding since I've come out as ace. And none of my friends care at all. But I did run into, and this is not the first time this has happened to me, but one of our Lyft drivers, when he heard we were at a wedding, he was asking about, are you two with anybody? And I was like, no, I'm good. And I didn't really say it. I was just kind of like, no, whatever. But he was concerned. Samantha.
Oh, no.
He was concerned about me. He was like, I don't think you can be happy like this. I think you're going to have to, the underlying message of being like, you're getting older.
Wow.
To the point my friend stepped in and was like, she is good, man. She is fine.
Wow.
And ultimately it worked out. And he kind of begrudgingly was like, oh, okay, if you say you're fine. But it was very begrudging. It was very disbelieving that this could be the case. And it was just strange because I know we've talked about this several times on the show. Even just being a single woman, never mind your identity, your gender identity, queer identity, whatever. You get those questions.
Right.
You get that all of the time. I guess this was the first time I've been pretty confident in being asexual that has happened to me with a stranger, like in front of other people. Because it happens online a lot. But in front of like other people who know how I identify. And it was very, very bizarre how he was so confident that you need to find you a man or you're just sad. It was very clear. He was like, otherwise, you're just sad. And he kept asking, like, well, have you just had a bad breakup? Like, have you trying to get to the bottom of my whatever it could be? Why I wouldn't want to be with someone, a man, he very clearly indicated, and that I wasn't in a rush to get married. And my friend, like, bless her, she was stepping in and she was like arguing for me. I kind of really didn't care, but it was a little jarring because I've gotten used to it. I don't really think about it anymore. I did used to worry about it. And if you've listened to this show, you know how far I've come since then. But I really used to worry about that. And now I'm good. I'm good. But it's interesting to me how many people who don't even know you feel very confident in telling you you need that man, though.
That's the thing I'm kind of like, how old was he? Was he elderly? Like boomer? Was he?
I would say he was maybe a little older than me.
Really?
Yeah.
So in like younger than me in your age range.
Yes.
And he really was like, because it sounds like something a grandpa would say.
Right.
Which is like annoying as it is. But a dude in our like age group, I'm like, brother, you're driving an Uber, which is fine because you do what you need to do, but you're doing a customer service. Why are you trying to give life advice?
That's a good point.
Like, this is not like a thing where you stop in and say, I'm going to teach you how to fix your life. Sure. Like, there are some times that you have a good conversation and have a fun time. And if you ask for advice, perhaps. But in like the customer service industry, giving unsolicited advice and then arguing about it when they're like, nah, I'm good.
Mhm.
Not the route to take.
No. And this is not the first time this has happened to me in a lift. I had someone else very concerned I wasn't married, but that was a long time ago. But I guess one of the parts to me that stands out is I don't feel like I made any. I was just like, no. I don't feel like I made any grand statement of no men in my life, no marriage ever. I just said, oh no, nobody really good. Uh, and he couldn't let it go.
He didn't act offended, just concerned?
Yes.
Was
just
he married?
Concerned. I don't know.
So he didn't
I
even
wasn't asking him.
Right. But the question though is like it coming from like a dude be like, look, I've been in this amazing relationship, blah, blah, blah. None of this makes sense. Your interactions have always thrown me off anyway when it comes to like people say that to you. Why? Because I have a face apparently that just like don't start. Don't start. Like I think that's the face I give.
Yeah.
But like and the fact that Katie finally stepped in, which is amazing. So she said she had a relationship and he was like, oh, cool.
Yes.
And then went on to you and then was like upset.
Yeah.
About your situation.
Yes. Yes. And it was very bizarre too, because like I said, I wasn't trying to, I don't know. He just asked this question because we were going to a wedding. And so it came up, but I don't feel like it's odd that he latched onto it. And also my Katie afterwards apologized to me and she was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I hope that was okay that I did that, which it totally was. But it was kind of like, oh, he listened to her who was in a relationship.
Right.
But not me.
Was he trying to hit on you?
It didn't feel that way to me. It could be, I'm not the greatest about that. It didn't feel that way to me.
I feel like I need to ask the friend.
Yeah, you can ask Katie. Because to me, it more felt like I don't think he never said his relationship status. Or if he did, I tuned it out completely. But to me, it sounded more like he was speaking from what he assumed was knowledge. Like, I'm married. Let me tell you, you need to get married.
And he said this in like a very heteronormative ideal. Like it wasn't even
definitely.
Like questioning whether or not you were a lesbian.
Oh yes, he was definitely get married to a man.
Okay. I think he's a fan of this Harrison dude from the Kansas City Chiefs.
Samantha, he is from Georgia Tech.
Oh, I know. I've read that. I was like, oh, there apparently was rumors about him.
I remember him when
really?
I was there.
Or did y'all go to school together?
I think he might have been a little after me, but he was the one Georgia Tech game I watched and we won, and it was because of him. And now I'm like, gosh. Yeah, it's because of the kicker.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Always with the sports people out of Georgia Tech, it's not good news.
Apparently he did a commencement speech there that was similar to the one he just got viral for.
Yeah. I'm not surprised. I'm disappointed, but not surprised. Yeah. I mean, because we have talked about that before, of dudes feeling very like it's totally in their space to just give you this advice and tell you why it's wrong that you want to have any independence at all.
Right.
And maybe not get married. Here's how things are wrong with you.
You'll not be fulfilled.
Okay.
Oh, anyway.
I'm just
wow.
perplexed as to how this came up. More perplexed that you feel very comfortable just speaking about it.
I'm really, really kind of shocked.
Yeah. It was something, but I mean, it didn't really upset me. It was just something that gave me pause.
As it should.
Yeah. It was just strange. And then, if a friend apologizes to you for sticking up for you, and then you kind of feel strange of like, oh. I get it just puts things in perspective of I wasn't really thinking about it in that way. But she was being a good friend and was like, no,
Yeah.
don't talk about it like that.
This is not for you to decide. Shut it.
Yes. Yes.
That's so odd.
So I guess ultimately, cheers to good friends. You, Samantha, Katie,
Cheers.
Dylan, all the happiness.
Yes.
Everyone I saw at the wedding. And, you know, in those times where it seems everything is going amiss a little bit, it's nice to remember
You've
got good friends.
Yeah.
You got your people. Yes. So thank you. And thank you, listeners. We include you in that as well. If you have any thoughts about this, if you've had any strange conversations that you really didn't ask for, please let us know. You can email us at stuffmediamomstuff@iheartmedia.com. You can find us on Twitter at momstuffpodcast or on Instagram and TikTok at Stuff One Never Told You. We're also on YouTube. We have a TeePublic store and we have a book you can get wherever you get your books. Thanks as always to our super producer Christine, our executive producer Maya, and our contributor Joey.
Thank you.
And thanks to you for listening. Stuff I Never Told You is a production by iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, you can check out the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.